friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are talking all things 2025. We are talking my best books, we're talking my worst books, and we're gonna get into it. And I'm so excited to be doing this video. Y'all know I like to yap. We got a lot of books to discuss. So let's just get into it. Okay, so we're going to start off with my honorable mentions of the year. If you can hear my heater, you can't. You already know the deal. I gets cold. So let's start off by talking about our honorable mentions. We have 3 of them that didn't quite make the best of list this year, but they surprised me and they were almost there. First off, I want to talk about probably one of my most surprising books of the year, and that is The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore. This is the 5th, I think, book in the Dream Harbor series, and usually these are just fun, quick reads for me, nothing too memorable, but I still have a good time. That's why I'm still reading the series. But Annie and Mac did it for me, okay? Annie and Mac, they gave what they needed to give. The flashbacks in this book were so cute, and I just loved everything about seeing their little relationship form. And even though in present day Annie had all the smoke for Mac, eventually that changes and it turns into a really believable relationship. I was rooting for both of our main characters. I'm just happy that I decided to pick this book up. Our next honorable mention is going to be Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. And this is a witchy book set in England where we have, a royal coven who kind of protects Queen Elizabeth I. And really this is focusing on a group of 4 girls who grew up together, who are in the coven together, and we see them as adults and how they have kind of drifted apart but have to come back together to solve a mystery slash fight off what they assume to be as evil, something like that. I just really enjoy the social commentary in this, and I had a fun time. And the last honorable mention on this list is going to be The Design of Us by Sajni Patel, and this is a fake dating situation where we have these 2 people who work together. They're workplace rivals, and they end up in the same place on vacation, and our main character Banu decides to fake date. Is his name Sunny? Yeah. Fake date Sunny because he's there for a wedding and his ex-girlfriend is a monster. And so, they turn out to not be workplace rivals at the end. And I really enjoyed this one. It was a surprise for me as well. Like, I thought I would like it, but not nearly as much as I did. This was such a fun time and also had some good commentary in it as well on Hawaii. Okay, now it's time to really get into it because we are going to talk about my best books of 2025. I have these ranked, okay? I actually ranked this year, and I don't know if I'm going to do it every year, but I wanted to try and do something different. I have a top 15, and we're going to go 15 to 1, and I'm going to let you know what my favorite books were and try not to spend too much time talking about them because 2025 came with some bangers. Some of my all-time favorite books I read this year, and yeah. Let's just get into it. So starting at number 15, we have The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. This is the 3rd book in the Green Sisters series. And friends, this was also surprising to me. I didn't even know if I was going to read this book because it's a single parent book, and I usually don't pick those up, but I decided to give it a shot anyway. And this also has like a musical component. We have like a music star, and I was worried about that as well. But baby Angel and shoot, what is her name? I can't remember her name, but they worked for me. They were cute. It was believable. I really liked their relationship, and I had a fun time reading this book. Coming in at number 14, we have Where There's Smoke by Erica Alexander. And baby, when I tell you I ate this up, I ate this up. Phoenix and Angel are my babies, okay? I love both of them so much. And the way they made me be okay with that insta love romance. They made me believe it. They made me agree to it, like all of the things. And I'm not an insta love person, but Angel and Phoenix, absolutely love. This was such a cute romance. It was actually short too. We have small town. Phoenix is a firefighter. Angel has a bakery. Just all the cozy vibes. There were some, more heartfelt moments in this as well. And look, friend, just pick it up. Changing vibes completely. We have my number 13 pick, and that is The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi. And look, friends, this is just one of the best epic fantasies that I have read. And I ain't even read a lot, but I can just tell that this is one of the best ones. We have three main people that are following, and each of them come from a different blood type, which is essentially a caste system in this world. And we have a rebellion, we have a sapphic romance, like all the things you could want in an epic black fantasy you get from this. The writing was impeccable. But friends, check those trigger warnings before you pick this up, because she's a heavy one. She's a good one, but she's heavy, and she's heavy, yeah. At number 12, we have Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. And friends, this one I was skeptical about going into. I really enjoy Olivia Blake as an author and a writer, but I know that some of her stuff is just not for me. And I first thought that this one was going to be one of those, because I was hearing Succession, and I've never watched that show, never had an interest in that show. So I was like, not for me. But friends, this is like a messy family reality show. Like the things and the tea that was spilled in this, like I really, really was having the time of my life. It wasn't what I was expecting. It's actually very light on the fantasy. A lot of it is not even explained, because that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that we have these three siblings here, and they are fighting it out to see who would take over their father's company now that he has passed. And it also discusses each of their relationships with their parents, but mainly their father, and how it has impacted their life as adults. Coming in at number 11, we have Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. And this is a YA fantasy where we follow our main character, who is the only siren living in this world because they were all killed off. And so she is hiding as a military soldier, that's the word, at a military academy. And she ends up winning this big tournament that allows her to have a really good place in society. But she ends up having to go work as a bodyguard for the prince. And we have a little bit of enemies to lovers there, and a murder mystery when she's the killer and she's trying to help the prince solve the murder. Yeah, yeah, get into this one for real. It's really good. Now we are cracking into our top 10, and at the number 10 spot, we have Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up by Cherish Reed. And this was just everything. When I tell you Mickey and Diego were everything to me, they were everything to me. This also has chronic illness representation, which I just think that's always going to make me love a book more, especially if it's done well and in a realistic way. And so we have Mickey, who is an adjunct professor, but she's not making enough money. So she goes to get a bartending job at Diego's bar. But it also turns out that Diego is a student in her class, so they have to figure out this relationship where he's her boss, but she's his teacher. And also they kind of like each other. And Diego is this grumpy man who is grieving the loss of his wife, and he hasn't really been in a relationship or even looked at anyone since. But then he meets Mickey. So, yeah. Love this. Our number 9 spot belongs to Son of the Morning by Akwaeke Emezi. This is her adult romantasy debut, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, Akwaeke Emezi can write in any genre. Like, they have it like that. They can write anything. And this was just nothing short of amazing. We have Galilee, who has grown up knowing that she's different, but she doesn't quite know how different she is until she runs into Lucifer. Yes, that Lucifer. And he has never met anybody like Galilee. And when I tell you he falls down bad and quick, that's what happens. And then, we have Levi here, Leviathan, who is one of Lucifer's prince of hell. He wants Galilee dead. And so, you know, and there might turn out to be a little polyamorous relationship in this as well. Get into this tea. Get into this. This was short and spicy and amazing. Yeah. At our number 8 spot, yeah, we're at number 8. We have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. And the way that I love Elowen and Caden, okay? Like in this, we have Elowen, who is an exiled princess, and she teams up with the last man she thought she could trust, which turns out to be Caden, because he is the leader of the army of the kingdom land or whatever that has beef for her daddy, okay? Who is the king of their lands. But anyway, the knife to the throat, the dragons, their banter, top tier. The way that they see each other's darkness and are not afraid of it and actually, like, work through it together in a way. Like, I can't. This is just this I was also surprised by this. Spot number 7 belongs to Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Lee. And y'all, when I started reading this book, I was like 2 or 3 pages in, and I already knew that this was going to be a 5-star. And by the time that I finished, I knew that this would definitely be in my top books of 2025. And this follows our main character, Selah, who has an effort list that she's made to try to branch out and live life a little more. And she runs into Grayson, who lives in her building, and in exchange for helping her mark some items off of this list, she agrees to be his date to his ex's wedding. And Grayson, he may look innocent, but Grayson got a filthy mouth. And friends, we're here for that. We are here for that. But this is such a sweet romance, and there's a lot of things that happen in this book that Evelyn Lee, in her like either author's note or acknowledgments or something, actually tell us that this is like an own voices situation, and it just makes this book even more heartfelt and tug at your heartstrings even more. This has the perfect mix of emotional moments, funny moments, spicy moments. You get everything you need. Number 6. I'm already smiling. Number 6 is going to be Irish Oaths by Annie Davenport. And this is definitely one, if not my, there we go, I got it together, favorite romanticies ever. For instance, this is a standalone. First of all, we don't get many standalone romanticies, especially by a Black author. Stand up for that. And in this one, we have a warrior princess named Kadisha and a vengeful king named Malachi from rival Fae courts. And they form an alliance to take down this really evil Fae man person. And this turns into like an enemies to lovers type situation. And when I tell you, the way that Kadisha and Malachi's first meeting had me squealing, I was squealing. And then not only that, but the amount of political intrigue and court politics in this was unexpected. But I actually loved that in books. And so I was very, very happy to be getting all of that in this. Now, friends, this is spicy. This is spicy. but I ate it up. I loved everything about this. We have, I think they're called Kangamados, which are kind of like dragons, and the way that they communicate with their riders is just really cool. The lore behind that, loved it. Kadisha is a badass. Malachi is a shadow daddy who wears a grill, and that's all you need to know. Time for our top 5. You know what? Y'all might say that this is cheating. I don't care. This is my channel. Okay? And so, the number 5 spot belongs to an entire series. I'm gonna show them to you if I can get them in my hands. So, that is the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. We have the 5th season, The Obelisk Gate, and The Stone Sky. And collectively, these 3 books make up my number 5 spot. But I'm only gonna hold up one because this is already too heavy for me. So, the 5th season in this entire Broken Earth trilogy is unlike anything I have ever read. This is like N.K. Jemisin has some of the best writing I have ever read in my life. This is one of the most original stories I have ever read. This is like a blend of sci-fi fantasy. And friends, I was scared to pick this up because I didn't think I could understand it, but I took my time with it and I enjoyed every installment of the series. But basically, this is like a story of the world ending. And we follow 3 different characters. And, ooh, I don't want to say too much. The plot twist in this series, I can't even. The side characters in this series, I also can't even. Like Hoa, who is a side character, is one of my favorite characters out of the whole series. Like, you just really fall in love, but you also feel the heartbreak for these characters because my girl Essen goes through it. And I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna tell you too much. But like, don't be scared of this book or of this series. Take your time and read it because it's worth it. Okay, moving on to our number 4 spot. That also belongs to a series. So we have the Drew Collins series by Granger. I read the first book in 2024, so it's not going to be in this, but I continued the series in 2025 and read the second book, which is The First Family. And I also read, my face is itching, sorry, the third book, which is called When a Wolf Loves the Moon. This is following Maggie Gray, who learns that she is a magical being. What kind, we don't know. But she learns that there is an underground of Atlanta where all the Black magical people congregate. There are different universities where you can go to learn about your history, your powers, other people's powers, and all things magical Black people related. And so Maggie is enrolled in Drew Collins, where she now makes some friends, learns more about herself, about her family, and that's what we're following. There are all kinds of creatures in this book. We have a talking black cat named Quan. We have witches, sirens, werewolves, shifters, nymphs, all the things. Everybody there. Okay, everybody is there. And I eat this series up. I love everything about this series and about these books. I have given each of them 5 stars. And yeah, I'm excited that these are being put into stores. I don't know if that means they're being published traditionally or they're just going to be available in the stores, but they're getting makeovers, new covers. I'm going to buy the new covers as well. And yeah, also on that note, if you go to look for When a Wolf Loves the Moon, it is being renamed to The Three Brothers. Alrighty, so we have made it to our top 3 books of 2025. Number 3 is A Mastery of Monsters by LaSalle Samberry. And the way that this book captured my heart, our main character, August Black, is literally me. And that made this both a very pleasant reading experience, but also it got a little tough sometimes when you see a mirror of some of the ways that you be acting and you be like, oh, I be doing that. But anyway, in this, we're following August Black, who is going to university, but her brother ends up disappearing, and everybody thinks like the stress of college got to him. But August knows better. August knows that her brother would never just disappear. And he leaves her a note telling her to be safe and protect her family. But then August is attacked by this big monster creature. Okay. And she is like, what the heck? So the world is not what I thought it was. And when she goes looking for answers, she runs across Virgil, who is a part of this secret society that contains monsters and other people, and Virgil is a monster himself, so that's how he knows so much about it. And he makes a deal with her that he will help her find her brother if she agrees to go through these trials with him and kind of bond and like be his mate, if that makes sense. Mate might not be the right word. I think they might just use partner or whatever. Either way, it's a like a bonded type situation. So that's what happens. Their trials in this are deadly. August and Virgil are like the cutest main characters ever. I love them so much. And then there's the conversations had in this book. I'm obsessed. Our number two book should not be a surprise to anybody because I have not shut up about this book since I read it. And that is Cursebound by Sarah L. Arifi. My girl made it to the list twice. I'm not surprised. Y'all shouldn't be surprised. Here we are. This is the second book in the Faebound trilogy, where we follow two elven sisters who get exiled from their lands and run across the Feylands. And they did not know that the Fae even existed. But, along the way, they learn that things are not as they seem, and what they have been taught may not exactly be the truth. We got a relationship in here for everybody. We got a sapphic relationship, we got MM relationships, we got straight relationship. Any kind of relationship you want, you can find in this series. And the lore in this world it's just amazing. The Obeah, which are like the animal companions, amazing. Sarah, like, girl, I'm obsessed with this series, but y'all already know that. Y'all know that, and y'all are tired of me talking about these books, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move on. We have made it to my best book of 2025. And somehow I knew at the beginning of 2025 that this was going to be my best book. As soon as this book was announced, I knew that whenever I picked it up, it was going to just take over my life. And friends, that's exactly what happened with Sweet Heat by Bolu Babalola. This book was immediately added to my favorite books of all time. Like, immediately. The way that I love Kiki and Malachi as college kids, but then we get to see them as adults. I I can't. And I feel so goofy because now I have to tell y'all that A Second Chance Romance is my favorite romance of all time, when all I do is scream and holler about how I hate second chance romances. Like, I just feel like such a goofy bitch. But, it's okay. I don't even care. I will sound goofy because I love the crap out of this book. It's written so beautifully. Like, there were times I'm like, Blue, like, she wrote the hell out of this book. It was just so beautiful, and you just get so swept up and caught up in the moments with them because it's just written so. Look, this, if you haven't read this book, you need to read this book. Like, this right here, and it's long, she a little long, but it was worth it to me. I loved every page. This is my new obsession, so get ready to hear me scream, yell, throw up, cry about this book, because that's what it is. The best book of 2025. Sweet Heat. Yeah. Yeah. And I have a list of my 10 worst books of 2025. And I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible. Only one of them was an actual DNF, but I read like 60-70% of it. So I read enough to feel like, and I stopped because I didn't like it. Any book that I just DNF that wasn't for me, I wouldn't include in my worst books. Only ones that I DNF because it was just bad. Okay. And I am not the type of person who really likes to go on in length about how awful books are. That's just not my thing. I was even going back and forth about including this at all, but we're going to try it and see how I feel about it. It may or may not happen again. I don't know. But anyway, I'm rambling and we got 10 more books to talk about. These are not in any particular order. It's just 10 books, my 10 worst books. And the first one is the only one that I still physically own. And that is The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. This is the second book to The Shadows Between Us. I was very skeptical about this going in. I did not like the main character of this when she showed up in the first book, so there wasn't much hope. I just didn't like her as a person, Chrysantha. She just the romance. No. The next book is the only DNF on the list, and that is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. I was about to say Saint Sinclair. And I didn't think I was going to like this when I started reading it. And then we got to a part where it just seemed ridiculous to me, and I just had to stop. I couldn't do it. I didn't really like our main character. I just and wasn't a fan. Moving on to number 3, we have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaires series, and this one hurt my heart. It cut me deep because I had given the first book in the series 5 stars, the second book 4 stars, and then to end up really not liking the third book just like ruined everything for me. I did not like either of our main characters. They were insufferable to me. I did not think that they needed to be in a relationship with each other. None of it worked for me. And if y'all know, these romances are long. So I feel like I suffered through this book hoping that it would get better, and it did not. And I lied because our fourth book I still own as well because it's a part of a series, but I didn't even bring it in here, and I'm not getting up to go get it. But that is Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This is the second book in the Locktoon series, and I was very on the fence about this book anyway because I realized while I was reading Gideon the Ninth, the first book, that if Gideon was not involved, I did not care. And this book definitely proved that to be correct. But also, this book was so confusing. I did not know what was going on. The last 25% of the book is what saved it from being like a complete 1 star or a DNF for me. Number 5 is The Wild Huntress by Emily Lloyd Jones. And I feel like this had a lot of potential, but weird things started happening. Like halfway through, it just some weird things that did not make sense for our characters started happening. I feel like we spent too long setting up the story when we really didn't get a lot of information. Like the world wasn't that big, the magic wasn't that expansive to where we needed most of the book to set it up. And there was this wild hunt that was, supposed to be the main part of the book that I felt like kind of happened too quick. I don't know. This just needed some more work. It just wasn't. Next is I Hope This Finds You Well and Friends. This one hurt me. From everything I heard about this book and, from the synopsis, it sounded like it was going to work for me. It was supposed to be this funny book about, going to work and how this girl ended up with access to all of her coworkers' emails and messages and how she was going to, use that to help her get a promotion. And this was not funny. I did not laugh. I did not hee hee. I did not kiki. This was sad. I this was sad. And the ending wasn't good. No, friend. Absolutely not. Moving on to Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. This one was definitely a disappointment as well. I thought we were going to get polyamorous vampires, and there was very little vampiric activities. There wasn't any Well, see, here's the thing. I thought they were going to be a triangle, and they were not. It was 2 people and 2 people, but one person they had in common. And no, I want to see everybody. If you're gonna tell me about polyamorous vampires, I want to see everybody. And I just feel like the setup of this took entirely too long, and then things started happening at the end, but it wasn't enough. I just don't know what the point was, if I'm being completely honest. Moving on to another one that I don't know what the point was, and that was Mutual Interest by Olivia Wolfgang Smith, and this one pissed me off because it was supposed to be like a lavender marriage between this man and this woman. He likes men, she likes women. They were together just for show, able to like build this really big empire together, but still be able to live their lives as they want. And I was like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I want to read this. No, the woman, I think her name might have been Violet or something like that. She was treated awfully. She was treated awfully. And her ending, that ending pissed. I have never been pissed off. Like if I had that book in my hand while I was reading it, I would have thrown it across the room. Because what do you mean you end the story like that and you do Violet like that? Violet was a bad bitch, and then you just whittled her down to nothing. Literally. Green dots. This was a lit fic about a girl who gets involved with a married man. There's an age gap, and we just kind of follow that along. Okay, she's kind of flailing through life, doesn't know what she wants to do. Well, she knows what she wants to do. That's nothing, which is fine, but she knows she has to work to survive. So, she meets this man at work, and they strike up this relationship, and then she finds out he's married, and of course, he's telling her all the lies that he's gonna leave and all of that. I ain't like the ending of that, friend. There's something about these endings with me. But this one, I was okay with being in our main character's head. This is kind of written almost like diary entries, and you're just in our main character's head. But after so long of going back and forth, I'm done. I'm irritated. I'm already not a back and forth person in real life. So, I'll give you a couple times in the book, but then I'm like, sis, you got to wrap it up. And the way that she was doing mental gymnastics to make her relationship with this man okay, and she knew that she was doing mental gymnastics, no, friend, stand up. Please stand up, because she was laid all the way down, face on the ground for this man, and she shouldn't have been. No. Next up, we have Blood Beneath the Snow. I don't really have any beef with this. This is like a masked man romantasy. We have a princess who has to fight in these trials, deadly trials to the death against her siblings. She's the only girl, and I think it's like 3 or 4 brothers in this, and the masked man is like the leader or something of the enemy army, something like that. Baby, it gave nothing. It gave nothing. And I was hooked with the deadly trials against the siblings. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be tea. I need to be sad for that. And it was like a couple pages. It was very underwhelming. And last but certainly not least, or is it? We have Just the Tipsy by Audrey Vaughn. This is a small town fake dating situation. And there was just nothing memorable about this. It was a little on the boring side. First of all, the title, but I picked it up even knowing the title, so that's on me. That's on me, friend. But yeah, there was just nothing about this that was overly wrong, but also there was nothing about this that was overly right either. We have done a lot of yapping. I hope this video is not too long, but we have talked about my best books of 2025. We have also talked about my worst books of 2025. Let me know if you have read any of these, what your thoughts are. If you're going to pick one of these up on my recommendation, let me know. And I'm gonna go on and get out of here because I'm tired of talking to my throat getting a little scratchy. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, anything that you do to support me and my channel. Friend, I greatly appreciate it. I really do. And I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.